It is time for the Nebraska Dairy Update. I'm Chad Moyer. My guest on today's program, Ashley Larson. She is a manager of programs and partnerships with Nebraska, working on behalf of dairy farmers here in the state. We're going to talk a little bit about a partnership with Husker Athletics. Very exciting, Ashley. Let's talk about that. Midwest Dairy has had a relationship with Husker Athletics for a number of years. Give us a little bit of a history about that partnership, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chad. The partnership began a few years ago and started small. We work closely with the nutrition department and Husker dietitians to share dairy messages through a 12-week podcast series, as well as on Sports Nightly Radio. We first tested the waters with just the one activation, and when we saw strong engagement and great listener numbers, we looked at how we could grow the partnership. The last 2 years, we've been able to add more activations and engage in a more meaningful way.
Okay, well, let's expand on that. What worked well last year with what you mentioned there with this partnership? What worked well and what will be continuing because of that?
Yeah, most of the things worked well, but one of the most successful pieces has been the digital messaging featuring our NIL athletes. Each month, we highlight a new dairy message showing dairy's impact on wellness and sustainability using the image and likeness of an athlete. Last year, we used 2 volleyball players, and this year we're working with 3 different athletes from 3 different sports, so changing it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And these messages are on Huskers.com and then also like the mobile app as well. Another activation we're continuing this year is our radio ad during the volleyball game broadcast. Fans will hear dairy messaging on the radio, voiced by a Husker volleyball player during each regular season game. And we'll also continue to be present at games this year, but in some new and different ways.
All right. Well, maybe we can expand on that. You talked about what worked well and what is being continued. Are there new aspects to this partnership coming here in 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the new and different ways that we're really excited about this year is a new in-game activation, the Powered by Dairy Flex Cam. So instead of dedicating one dairy day for a game like we did last year, the Flex Cam will be featured at 5 volleyball games, 5 women's basketball games, and 5 men's basketball games. This will be a fun way to get the crowd involved and have them show their muscles to us. Another activation that's new this year was a digital campaign called Trivia Tuesdays. This started at the end of July, leading up to school starting in fall sports. On each Tuesday, the Husker Athletics social pages posted a trivia link that asked Husker trivia along with some dairy trivia. This was another way to get some fan interaction and test consumers' dairy knowledge, and maybe help them learn a little bit about dairy as well during that Tuesday trivia. The last thing we added this year is that we developed a new dairy farmer commercial.
Okay. Yeah, that's something we should maybe spend some time on, too. Tell me more about that commercial you mentioned.
Yeah, that's been a fun little project, but using different images and videos, a commercial was created that Midwest Dairy created that highlights the incredible work dairy farmers are doing to ensure a sustainable future for dairy. The commercial airs weekly on the Coaches TV show on Monday nights, and so it just started this past Monday. But be sure to tune in all season long. It'll be throughout the whole season, the whole football season on Mondays.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So again, like you say, we're continuing some avenues of this partnership. We're expanding the partnership with Husker Athletics. And, you know, here in Nebraska, very excited to be connected with the athletic program there at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. But ultimately, why is this partnership important to Midwest Dairy and farmers who pay into the checkoff, Ashley?
Yeah, the Husker Athletics partnerships allows us to connect with a wide audience across Nebraska. We're able to reach fans in the stadium, but then also through radio, TV, and digital platforms. It's a valuable way to build trust in dairy and showcase the role it plays in both fueling athletes and creating a more sustainable future.
All right. Now, you talked about different ways that we can follow along in those different avenues. Is there kind of a central place maybe where you can read up more on this and just follow along in general, Ashley?
Yeah, there will be the promotion updates that are on midwestdairy.com, but then also for like the digital ads and to see some of the activations we're doing, that is on huskers.com. And then as well, if you have the Husker Athletics mobile app, Their social pages show some of what we're doing as well with the Trivia Tuesdays, but more their website's probably the best place to see some of those activations. Or going to the games with being present at volleyball and basketball this year.
All right, very good. Again, an exciting partnership to expand on that this year. Thank you so much for telling us about it. Ashley Larson, a manager of programs and partnerships here in Nebraska with Midwest Dairy. On today's Nebraska Dairy Update, Chad Moyer reporting.